Hey there kids, do you like Pokemon? Do you like taking lots and lots of pictures for the Instagram? Do you love creepy old men critiquing everything you do? What? Well then, boy oh boy, do I have the perfect game for you. This is Pokemon Snap! As I've mentioned in past videos, during the late 1990s and early 2000s, Pokemania was taking over the world, and in order to capitalize on the success, Nintendo and their subsidiaries were releasing not just handheld spin-offs, but also a few interesting console games on the N64. Everything from the mega successful Pokemon Stadium series to Puzzle League, and of course that one title more disappointing to kids than getting raisins in your pillowcase on Halloween. But for whatever reason, the one spin-off game that always stuck out back then to me was Pokemon Snap. Yes, Stadium had those legendary minigames, and yes, Puzzle League featured addictive gameplay. But none from that era, handheld or console, has endured in people's minds in quite the same way as this 1999 photography simulator. And oddly enough, the game was never meant to feature Pokemon at all. Originally developed for the failed N64 disk drive, the game started production as Jack and the Beanstalk, which, from what I read on the internet, was apparently supposed to be exactly what it sounds like. And in fact, while starting the finished game, you can actually see the words Jack and Beans as an homage to the original development team during the opening cinematic. Regardless of its origins though, the increasingly popular Pokemon series eventually became the focal point of the entire adventure, along with the photography mechanics of course. And it was this latter feature that convinced the developers to create a special arcade station in Blockbusters throughout North America. As a kid, I can vividly remember playing on these colorful cabinets as my parents waited in line, and despite not really knowing what to do, I had a fun time messing around with them. Essentially, they functioned as Pokemon branded printers, wherein players would save their best pictures on their Pokemon Stadium or Snap Home cartridges, pop them into the Blockbuster kiosk, and print 16 of their best photos into mini stamp stickers. Of course, I was about 6 at the time, and rather than showing off my wonderful photography skills, I opted instead to just play the demo version of Pokemon Snap that came bundled in every station. And as a bonus, I got to keep the special cards that allowed access to the machine. In fact, my nostalgia is so powerful when it comes to these Snap stations that, along with a sealed copy of Chrono Trigger, adding an arcade version of this game to my collection is my personal holy grail of gaming memorabilia. And yes, I know that's a little weird. But personal nostalgia aside, is the game as immersive and colorful as people claim? And is it actually worth all of the remake and sequel hype that's been floating around ever since the Wii U made it apparent that the gameplay is a perfect match for Nintendo's modern consoles? Well, let's dig in. The game starts off well enough, with a detailed cinematic showing off our protagonist and photography savant Todd Snap on the hunt for pictures of the mythical Pokemon Mew. After this, we're greeted by Professor Oak, who introduces us to Pokemon Island, a mysterious and apparently photogenic habitat for all different types of pocket monsters. And might I just say that whoever got to name this magical isle definitely deserves a raise. Anyways, one of the coolest aspects of this game compared to its handheld counterparts is that, like Stadium, it features not only impressive 3D models for the time, but also voice acting from the original anime series, which was admittedly a really neat addition back in 1999. I mean, finally, you could throw a ball of poison gas at a Bulbasaur and know exactly how messed up it was from its cry alone. Just truly groundbreaking sound design. Anyways, the point of the game is to take Todd around 6 distinctive levels while interacting with and capturing photos of each region's exclusive Pokemon. And when you're done riding through each locale on your hovercar, boat, spaceship thing, Professor Oak grades your photos with the dignity and tact you'd expect from an esteemed professional. Just kidding, the man's clearly never taken a photography class in his life, because the way he awards points is just completely random. There really is no rhyme or reason here, just sometimes he prefers a beautiful photograph of a Dugtrio emerging from the earth, and sometimes he's really into Pokemon butts.
Oh. Hey Professor, I just got back from the river area. I think you're gonna really love this awesome Slowpoke photo I just took.
Oh, perfect. What's new this time? How's the size? It's so-so. 300 points. How's the pose?
It's actually doing—
Oh, there's no surfboard. Only so-so. 300 points.
Wait, what? Surfboard?
How's the technique?
It's literally in the center of the picture.
Oh no, the Pokemon's not centered. No bonus for you.
Are you drunk?
That's all for now. Good luck next time.
As you begin to encounter more and more Pokemon, the good professor will award you with certain items that can impact the environment and Pokemon you encounter. This can mean making an Electrode explode to reveal a hidden path by throwing an apple at it, or waking up that lazy Snorlax with a Poke-Flute. In fact, a lot of these items might be considered abuse, especially the Pester Balls, but PETA's not going to care about a 20-year-old game, right? Right? One of the most interesting and strangest parts of Snap, though, has to be the Pokemon signs. Within every level, there's one secret Pokemon silhouette you have to find, usually by using an item on it, or, just sheer luck. Like Mewtwo, for example. I mean, I just saw these weird metallic bits floating in midair and thought, hey, I like silver thumbtacks, why not make a memory? And lo and behold, it was exactly what Professor Oak was looking for. Who knew? And once you've successfully taken photos of every sign, it's time to go to space for the ultimate encounter. Your wit and determination as the world's greatest photographer will finally be put to the test as you throw poison orbs at the rarest Pokemon ever discovered. You do know there's only one of those things, right? But yeah, you've got to get a nice photo of Mew in what may be the most anticlimactic showdown in Final Boss history. After you've taken one that suits the professor's taste, the credits roll and the game is over. And other than being able to look at your past photos and beat your own scores, that, my friends, is Pokemon Snap in a nutshell. And despite how short the game is, it actually is pretty fun to go back and discover all of the secrets. And of course, getting judged by the professor is always a riot.
Wow.
So does it hold up? Well, in some ways no, but in so many others, absolutely. Again, I think how fast you'll fly through the game will surprise you if you haven't picked it up in a few years, but other than that, the presentation is solid for an N64 era game, and I really do hope that they give us some sort of sequel in the next few years, maybe even for the game's 20th anniversary. Though if I can make a few minor suggestions, they really should add more Pokemon, and instead of making it for the Switch or the Wii U or whatever, I think they'd be much better off doing something for mobile. I mean, the game's super short and you're on a track anyways, so it makes a lot of sense. Plus, you could use AR and gyroscope technology to take pictures of Pokemon in the real world with your phone's built-in camera. Get on it, Nintendo, I'm just saying. Oh, and finally, I can't be the only one who thought the way to get a Slowbro in the RPGs was to somehow fuse a Slowpoke and Shelder together because of this game, right?
You were close.
Right? Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this more comical review, and make sure you subscribe by clicking on my face over there. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you haven't done so already. Links are in the description. And as I always say, happy hunting, baby rhinos. See you next time.